Hello, welcome to another episode of Pokemon Champions Regulation MA. Today we are going to showcase a Mega Floette Mega Delphox team that was originally created by someone on Twitter named Tody or at canfly underscore SS. I'm going to put that up in the description. He was using this team to get up to 2242 ish. I think he did hit 2300 at some point. No, he did not. So I think 2242 is the highest that he has been, which, I mean, everyone is going in the 2400s, but this team, if you can get up to in the 2200s, I think is very good. I'm like in the 1700, low 1700 range, so he's like not he's so much compared to me, right? This is a dual mega team running Mega Floette and Mega Delphox. I need to say before I get started with the description is that this was a very difficult team for me to pilot. I do not think I understood the extent of the team very well until towards like the end of it. And Mega Delphox, despite it being very fast and pretty decent, I cannot shake the feeling that this is pretty slow. Pretty weak. Mega Evolution. Most Mega Evolutions like Mega Charizard or Mega Floette is so good at taking like one-hit knockouts, where Mega Delphox was a little bit lacking in the one-hit knockout territory. However, although I, was not doing very well in the beginning, towards the end, I think I'm starting to understand the beginning, like what this team like really means. And I would like to showcase how I have learned that throughout my journey as well. As always, it's going to be a 5 game show that I'm going to do, and I'm going to go over individual Pokemon first, and then we're gonna go straight to gameplay. So, this is our first Mega Evolution Pokemon, which is going to be Mega Floette. Very popular, very strong in this current meta right now. Everyone's trying to run Mega Floette, I think, if they can. And everyone's trying to counter Mega Floette wherever they can as well. This set is a little bit different in that it runs Light of Ruin instead of Calm Mind, and it is modest nature and having a little bit more investment in bulk rather than the max special attack, max speed variant that we see. I think not having Calm Mind is the right decision in this case, because as you will see in a little while, this team lacks a lot of support with the Floette. It does have a redirection on the Sinistra. However, Sinistra that I'm going to talk about is not really used for redirection in this case. I guess it's like one or the other, right? Because it doesn't run any setup on a lot of the Pokemon, that Sinistra loses its ability to enable the setup. So it's kind of one causing the other, just back and forth. However, because of that, at least how this team is designed, Light of Ruin does make sense compared to Calm Mind. And this is the usual Mega Evolution that you are going to click into. It is not very often where you will choose to bring Mega Delphox over Mega Floette. Its notable weaknesses, as always, is going to be poison, it's going to be steel, it's going to be fire wherever the fairy is resisted. However, because Garchomp covers for the poison and the fire pretty well, it usually Mega Delphox is used against a lot of steel types and sometimes poison types too, because it does have a psychic move. So we're going to move on to Mega Delphox. Okay, so Mega Delphox, I do have something that I want to say. See, the special attack in Mega Floette is 179. The special attack in Mega Delphox is 138. Of course, Mega Delphox is running Timid and Mega Floette is running Modest. That does make a difference. However, because Mega Delphox's main strength is its speed of 142, right now the special attack capability does lack compared to Mega Floette. Because it's not very high firepower, Heat Wave sometimes does feel lackluster on anyone that it doesn't do super effective move against. Psyshock also feels very lackluster if you're not doing super effective move against it. Even if you are doing super effective, if they are very bulky variant, like special bulk, it really cannot take any one-hit knockouts. And there are very niche circumstances where you want to bring the Delphox. However, I have learned that you do not really want to lead Mega Delphox. Rather, you want some of the other Pokemon to do some damage for the Delphox, and Delphox will come in and clean up. And I feel like if I did use it in that sense, I feel like it's going to do much better compared to some other Pokemon. I mean, some other usage cases. So next is going to be Garchomp. This is the mon that does like the most damage in this team. Sometimes Mega Floette, but for Mega Floette to do a lot of damage, either it needs to do Moonblast or do like a Light of Ruin, that it cannot dish too much damage. But because you rely on Mega Floette to do a lot of front damage, Garchomp actually ends up being the one to clean a lot of it up. Or when you bring the Garchomp first, it is to attack a lot of poisons and a lot of rocks and anyone that gets super effective hits against the ground type. Because it's running soft sand, it actually dishes a lot of damage despite not being fully invested in the attack. It does have a little bit of bulk. It did live, I think, a Dazzling Gleam from Mega Meganium once. Do not quote me on that. There was one thing that it barely lived something, and I was just thinking, oh, okay, this one has bulk. But I am not quite sure exactly what it is bulky towards. If you probably scroll through his team assessment Twitter, maybe he will explain something if I do figure out, or if anyone knows, please comment down below, and I will very much appreciate it. But like I said, does a lot of damage. Sometimes not having Dragon Claw does suck if Floette dies early, but that usually means that I just didn't protect the Floette enough. Where if I know that there is a Dragon Pokemon in the back, I should be conserving my resources a little bit better. I think that is the main theme of this team, is that because everyone is so specific in their role and in what they need to kill, like rotating and also bringing the right lead against the team, it becomes very important. If any of that is messed up, you will lack damage somewhere, and the other bonds that you have are not really able to cover for what you are lacking in a certain situation. Next is going to be Sinistra. Uh, it's a very defensive mon. Matcha Gotcha sometimes does some things against Rotoms and sometimes against Milotics. However, mostly you use this when you want to Rage Powder out, when you are worried about someone doing a Trick Room, you use it, and you can always bait your opponent by, you know, protecting after you Rage Powder a couple times, and that becomes very good. Hospitality switches are very good when you want to sustain your Floette a little bit after a Light of Ruin, and or also when you want to heal up your Garchomp a little bit. Ideally, if Talonflame receives any chip damage, you can bring in the Sinistra next to Talonflame. However, if you do that, you are lacking way too much damage in that case by bringing two of the support mons together, and I do not think that is a very great idea. I think you want to stick to one support with this team, at least, you know, as you are learning the team. I'm pretty sure as you get better, there will be times where you want to bring Sinistra and Talonflame together, but at least in my testing, I did feel that doing that was very lackluster in my case. Just gonna go check because I had a couple games in Showdown, I had a couple games in the Champions Ladder, I had also ones that I haven't been like posting or, you know, writing things, but I never really brought the two together in the games that I won. So there's that. And every time that I look at Sinistra, I miss Water Terra. It's just a thing. Alright, Talonflame. This is a star number 2 of the party. Tailwind is great whenever you need it. Sometimes you don't need it and you want to acrobatics, or if you have someone that can definitely kill, such as, like, you know, if you're running Floette. I had a game where I was able to feint the Excadrill to break the Protect and also break the Focus Dash and kill it. I don't think that game ended up very well from what I think. Yep, it didn't end up very well. However, at least the oh, it's not this game. It's not recorded, sorry. It is not recorded, but I had a game when I was playing by myself where I was able to like feint the Excadrill, they double protect, and then I Earthquake with my Garchomp for a kill. Because they're not expecting feint, it becomes very important. Flare Blitz can do something, but if you are Flare Blitzing something, just bring Delphox, right? Protect you sometimes click when you want to stall out some things, but very rarely you want to stall with Talonflame. You kind of just want to dish damage the best that you can. Acrobatics when you need to, such as like enemy Sneasler that's very fast, or enemy Venusaur under the sun that's very fast. Just hitting acrobatics with priority sometimes does really help against this team. Just racking up damage the best that you can so your Floette can shine after a Tailwind is a very good way to win. Next is going to be King Gambit. It does damage, as always. It does a little bit less damage because it is a Choco Berry variant. I'm pretty sure it cannot live any like close combats or things like that. Maybe I just need to do the calc again, but if you're sitting in front of Sneasler, you might just want to switch out because you're not really doing that much damage into the Sneasler either. This is a good, very good Dire Claw switch in. So you switch this in, and then you can switch out to anyone that resists the close combat afterwards. It's also a pretty good close combat bait. And then you can bring in the Talonflame while something next to it, such as like a Mega Fluette or Garchomp, can attack on the side. Ironhead does good job against enemy Mega Fluette. If they are not running Light of Ruin, I think it lives anything that hasn't been Calm Mind boosted, and it will definitely live a Dazzling Gleam. So if it's like running next to a Sinistcha, you can just Rage Powder Ironhead and then do very good damage against the Mega Fluette as well. I brought it a lot of times. Defiant Boost sometimes work out. I think you are bringing King Gambit in front of the opponent Incineroar, anything that intimidates. You really want like a redirection or a fake out, to be honest, because Incineroar is such a pain. Maybe you can bring Talonflame next to it and then Tailwind and kill something. But even if you do kill something with the Defiant Boost, if you're just gonna die to it's in Flare Blitz or any like fire, any fighting move, I don't feel like that is worth it, because it's not really meant to kill those things. It's meant to be fighting the enemy ghost types, meant to fight enemy like psychic types or enemy fairy types. You know, it has its job, right? And this team, if it really deviates from that job, it becomes very difficult to come back afterwards. Okay, so as always, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, comment. Anything helps out a lot with my channel. I want to explain some of the common leads that I had some success with this team. The biggest combo that you will have is probably going to be Talonflame with either a Mega Fluette or Garchomp. Those in the right circumstances against the right lead can take pick up knockouts here and there, even on turn 1 if you aim them correctly. And having the Talonflame give it support with either Feint or either Tailwind is very crucial in getting those knockouts. So, you know, Mega Fluette, Garchomp with Talonflame is very good. If you are facing against enemy Trick Room team, I would bring Garchomp with another one of those two Megas. Or you could decide to bring King Gambit with one of the two Mega Fluette or Garchomp. And I think that just try to do a lot of damage, provide a lot of offensive pressure on the turn that they want to click the Trick Room is very important when you're fighting that team. You don't necessarily have to kill everything or like kill the Farigiraf or anything like that, because you know, if sometimes that might be the answer, but you get really hard punished as you go higher up in rank and they read it and then they decide to protect the Farigiraf, which is becoming more common on some teams, that they are running protect on the Farigiraf and then try to dish damage someone next to it. So if you don't want to be red like that, you might want to just spread out the damage and then just bring some things that are able to stall with either Sinistcha, King Gambit in the back. That just like protects what you have. Rage Powders when you need protect. Switch out Sucker Punch to get prio. Anything like that does really help. If you are considering bringing Mega Delphox, I would suggest that you bring the Talonflame and Mega Garchomp first, and then you will bring Mega Delphox and then King Gambit. Or if Sinistcha is really necessary, you can bring Sinistcha, but a lot of the thing that you're trying to resist with the Sinistra is actually not very good resisted. Like, let's say you want to resist it with the Basket Legion. If it does switch out and then come back in, and then you're at a very high disadvantage and much risk at last respects of Basket Legion or anything like that. Because, you know, water type that only really exists is Rotom and Basket Legion in this format, unfortunately. I do want to see a little bit more variety. Not that I want our Shifu back, but you know, there are other things. But I guess some people are using like Blastoise and things like that. I'm sure they will find their ways. Maybe I'll try to find like a Water Pledge, Fire Pledge team. I'm not even sure if pledges are active, but it's just thought for another time. So those are like the common leads that I had success with, and I hope that you can find some. However, like I said, this is so hard. Like, I did not understand what I was doing for like the first 10 games. And then I'm starting to understand now, but this is not something that I would pick if you just want like an easy win up to the Master Ball rank. There are much better teams that you can do than this. However, if you are like, I wanted to use the Fox, but I don't want to use the Fox like on its own, and this is a team, you get to use both the Flower and the Fox. Well, I'm sure in the hands of the right player this is very strong. It's just that unfortunately I was not one of them. I hope you are, and if you are having a lot of success with this team, please share your thoughts and your wisdom on the comment section. Alright, so now we are going to start with some gameplay and the review of those gameplays, and hopefully my wins and my losses give you some insight in playing this game. So I will see you soon. Alright, so let me show you some gameplay with the Milotic Gardevoir Sun team, right? With the Charizard Venusaur. What's a little bit tricky to use. Has a lot of that. I'm not sure if I want to bring in the Delphox or if I want to bring in the Floette. Probably Floette seems better, but I think I want to go first with Garchomp and try to whittle down as much as I can. I think to take some damage, I want to go Cinny and maybe Floette. We might need some help. Is there any reason to bring King Gambit instead of? I don't think so. Although Incineroar does help with that, I think having the having the Sinistra will still be better against things like Milotic and the Venusaur. So this is my first game. I had like a couple games to practice, but still basically my first Milotic and Gardevoir. Okay, so Garchomp is not in a good position here. I'll give him that. Probably switch out to Floette here, and then I could Tailwind. Garchomp, come back. Save you for later. I don't think there is a reason for Garchomp to stay on two mons that very much hard counters the Garchomp. Dazzling Gleam on the Floette. Hopefully a Scald, or it could be an Icy Wind. Okay, Ice Beam on the Floette. Not bad, don't freeze. Crit, it's not the best. I can heal, I am faster. I could... I don't think anything I do will kill. In which sense, I just want to dish out decent amount of damage and also heal with the Sinistcha. Hopefully minus the crit, it wouldn't have done that much damage. I do not have the Calm Mind. I could have set up the Calm Mind. Could have protected now. Actually, Dazzling Gleam. Oh, that also means that the enemy Dazzling Gleam is stronger too. That actually doesn't do that much damage. Oof. Salt into the Sinistcha. That's okay. Now I'm going to Matcha Gotcha here. And I want to protect my Floette. And just attack. It will take a Dazzling Gleam. It could Ice Beam my Sinistcha. Do you die to Ice Beam? Okay, I'm faster than my rotate. I guess under the Trick Room. Oh, okay. I think this is the Scarf variant. Icy Wind. Do I still have a last turn of Tailwind? Don't freeze. Don't freeze. Okay, last turn, I could do this. Hopefully kill the Gardevoir. Actually, I'm not sure if Gardevoir was faster with Scarf under Tailwind. Okay, he wants to preserve. Okay, intimidate. Okay, I'm still faster. Should kill the Gardevoir. And Matcha Gotcha burn would be huge, but I'm not sure if anything gets burned because he's a fire type Pokemon. Okay. So now he might bring in the Milotic. Okay, he brings in the Charizard. I want to protect here. I could bring in the Talonflame here. I might double switch. I'm not sure how good of an idea this is, but this will be able to take the Heat Wave and also a Fake Out. Maybe I wanted to switch in the Garchomp slot into the Fake Out, and that's going to do the rough skin damage on the Vincent. So actually that was a mistake right there, right? I would have done more chip damage onto the Garchomp by doing so. Okay. Oh, burn is not what I need at the moment. That's okay. I'm going to feint the Charizard. And I'm going to Rock Slide the Charizard. It might switch out to Milotic. And I will be sad. It'd be nice if I have Tailwind, but I think it's okay considering that Charizard can outspeed me, but if I kill by Charizard, I will die anyway. Feint. Not sure if he was going to protect. Nope, he never did. Heat Wave. See, Rock Slide needs to hit. Okay. Doesn't do as much damage as I wanted to. I think that might be game. Wow. A lot of crits. A lot of burns. He's getting quite lucky. Might try to wave. Now does hospitality bring the fairy aura up? Okay. So Moonblast on Charizard. And then Protect. Not sure if he's going to Flare Blitz. Oof. So much damage. It depends on whether he wants to Throat Chop my Sinistcha or Flare Blitz my Floette. Throat Chop, okay. That is something. That's a Milotic. Ice Beam. Dazzling is not going to kill. I'm not sure Moonblast is going to kill. Might as well attack. Moonblast. I hope it kills. Okay. I was thinking if I should have Light of Ruin instead. But Ice Beam into the finish. Okay. Floette. That's okay. Right? He doesn't have anything else. Oh, okay, that's not good. Come on. I'm like... Not really, depends on what Ice Beam, how much damage it's going to do. Onto the Sinistcha. Are you just trying to waste all my... Oh. Okay, just more and more leftovers. Okay. So I'm gonna Macho Gotcha now. He's not going to double protect. He might protect next turn. And then I'm probably going to Trick Room next time. Ice Beam hopefully doesn't kill. Okay. Matcha Gotcha. 3 burn. Okay, that is actually he has leftovers first. Now I think he doesn't want to protect. He wants to attack. Now, right? Oh, I should have tricked him last turn. Well, here is still hoping it doesn't die to the Ice Beam. If I tricked him last turn, I would have won. I think I died. Okay, yeah. This guy's calm nature too. Oh, that sucks. Okay. And Macho Gotcha miss hasn't been the best thing. The opponent got a pretty good RNG against me, I think. So let's start with the team preview. I think I'm very much disfavored in this matchup. My Floette doesn't do very well in this matchup. but also my Delphox doesn't do really well in this matchup. So I'm at a quite a disadvantage if I had stuff like maybe like Mega Blastoise, maybe. So I have to rely on Garchomp to do a lot of damage onto the Incineroar and onto the Golurk. The Charizard. So in this matchup, I think Garchomp early is still good, and Talonflame to get the Tailwind is still good because I do want to hit from above. Whatever it is, I'm not sure if I'm able to hit from. I'll be able to hit from above. Hit from faster. Yeah, Venusaur if I have the Tailwind up as well, and then my Talonflame will be really good against the Venusaur too. So with that, I do have the Garchomp. I do have Floette in the back just in case there is a Garchomp. And if he's trying to like Dragon Claw my Garchomp, I can bring in my Floette. I think in terms of the 4 that I brought, Garchomp, Talonflame for Tailwind is good lead in this case. Simi in the back for my Lotic and Floette for Garchomp, and just to do damage overall. Not much other choice here. Very difficult matchup for me in general. I think a lot of the mons do counter mine. So the game starts and then I Tailwind and then I switch out into the Floette. So that gives my Floette some thing to work with. So that's fine. Tailwind, Floette. I think my Floette is still not the fastest. Taking the Ice Beam damage doesn't feel very good. Thought you would have scald into my scald into Talonflame because Dazzling. Oh no, because Dazzling Gleam doesn't kill the Garchomp. Should I have protected? Tailwind protect. We'll take the Dazzling Gleam. When it's fastest, I could EQ and maybe Acrobatics. The Gardevoir. That could actually be what I should have done. Because right then I could hopefully get it killed off. Actually, are you faster? Oh no, because I switched out. I would never know. If the Garchomp slot was to be doubled up. Okay. I made the mistake of thinking he would target my Talonflame slot because he's not that threatened by my Garchomp yet, but he might want to get rid of it fast because of Zard and Incin in the back. If safe play would be to protect Chomp in Acrobatics on Talonflame to towards Gardevoir. That way next turn I can threaten, stomping, plus dazzling, as I am faster with Tailwind. I'm not sure how, but I think if Gardevoir is outspeeding the Mega Floette under Tailwind, I think that is a timid Scarf, because Modest Scarf Gardevoir actually cannot outspeed that much. So with crit here, I was very unlucky in this match. There's so many outs that I would have been able to take and would have won me the game. Dazzling does pitiful amount of damage. However, Light of Ruin wouldn't have also done that much damage either. So I switch in because of the possible Scald, which I think he does end up doing, which is nice. It heals up the Floette, so I think that's good here. So I could take a at least another double up if there was one. Fairy Aura does not a lot of damage. Dazzling Gleam does more damage now that Fairy Aura is up. Scald into the Sinistra. So now what do I do from here? I think I Matcha Gotcha and then I Moonblast the Gardevoir. Oh no, I Protect. And then I Matcha. So that's a Scarf, right? Does okay amount of damage. Very good damage, I think. Maybe I bring in the Talonflame here to sack it. Right. And then I just Matcha Gotcha again. Gardevoir is still faster than the Floette. Insync comes out. Right, attack falls. That's okay. Floette Dazzling Gleam. Oh, maybe I am faster than the Gardevoir. That's alright. And then Matcha onto Instant doesn't really do much of anything. And then now I can switch in my Talonflame if I want to, or I could switch in my Garchomp. So now here's the problem. I think this is the one of the biggest mistake that I made, is that when I double switched, I should have switched Garchomp into the Floette slot to do maximum chip damage with Rough Skin on my Garchomp. You know, like against an Incineroar, every little bit counts. Especially after the Garchomp got burned. So that's a mistake right there. Garchomp comes out, so I fake out into that, would have done more damage, and then Garchomp burns here. Like, very unlucky burn. I think if I didn't get burned here, how much damage would I do against the Zard? Heat Wave, that dies. Rock Slide, 42, 89 to 42. So that's 45%. I would have killed it. I would have killed it. I would have killed the Zard. Instant would have lived. That's fine. And a throat chop crit. I don't think that mattered. It just made me feel bad. And then from here, Sinistra comes out, and even despite all that, I almost won, right? I had to make a choice, Moonblast into Charizard, and then I was just hoping that Instant would throw Chop into my Sinistra, which is kind of unnecessary because Heat Wave would have killed the Sinistra anyway, so it's better to just Flare Blitz into my Floette. Heat Wave, I take that, and then Zard dies, Milotic comes out. And then I have to kill the Incin. In here, I think I actually just end up matcha gotcha-ing. Right? That is the right thing to do. And then I miss. Miss on Milotic, which would have won me the game. However, I should have thought that he would try to get as much leftovers recovery. Right, if I actually did a matcha gotcha and I trick roomed here, if I had trick roomed, I would have won too. So many times I could have won, but could not due to very series of unlucky and a miss at the end. I mean, the miss part is my fault. I still made like 3 mistakes, right? So I'm not saying I'm in the right, but that bird and that 3% too, that was huge. Maybe if it did 3% more damage, maybe that means I need leftovers. No, if it had leftovers, it would have died already. So yeah, so that was game 1. Okay, hopefully game 2 I'm a little bit more lucky than last time. Heat Rotom, Gyarados, Meganium, Archaludon, Pelipper, and Garchomp. So this is a very much a rain team. I pick Floette, Talonflame. Does my King Gambit have Iron Head? Okay, I'm gonna bring King Gambit. And then also Garchomp. Is there any reason to bring Sinistcha instead of King Gambit? No, right? Because I really need that against the Meganium. Sinistcha is gonna help with like the Weather Balls, but I'm not too worried about the Weather Ball. Well, at least not right now. Okay. Okay, let me just open the window a little bit. It is summer. It is hot. It is filthy. Oh. It is only April, so technically we are spring, but at least this week, this is the beginning of summer. Alright, so let's see the lead here. Going to be AI, Gyarados, and Pelipper. Okay, that's fine. I could Tailwind Dazzling Gleam here. Do you have Wide Guard? Let's test it out. Let's test it out, test it out, test it out. Mister, do you have Wide Guard? This is like a little bit of a well, technically, if I was playing best of 3, I wouldn't have to test it out because I would have the sheet. That is so cute. It is so much. It is like one of the cutest Mega Evolutions, right? Tailwind, please. Oh no, if it was Wide Guard, it would have happened already. Okay, Dazzling Gleam. That's decent amount of damage. Thunder Wave. Okay. That is not very good. And then do you Weather Ball? Oh no, you Tailwind. That's okay. I can aggro Moonblast into the Gyarados. Aggro into Pelipper? Is that safe? If it's Archaludon, it's not safe. Okay, but Pelipper dying is good. Probably Archaludon's gonna come in, but I have... Okay, Waterfall into the Bullet should not kill. Just don't full para. Okay. Ugh, para nerf is huge. That should kill. Okay, so 2 knockouts. That's good. Floette is not doing so hot. Maybe now I am thinking if I should have dropped the Garchomp. Do you outspeed me? I think you do outspeed me. I need to hit the aggro and I need to die. Right? Please kill my Talonflame. I need Garchomp in like right now. Electroshock into who? To whom are you electroshotting? Okay, the Floette, that's not good. Now I have to hope to Tailwind one more time. So let's throw caution to the wind. And do this. Talonflame protect in case I can get a Tailwind off. Archop Dragon Claw into the Talonflame. And hopefully Floette is faster. No, the paralysis sucks. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to play the Garchomp. EQ. I can EQ. Probably faster than Archaludon regardless, right? Tailwind. I don't think I died to a Dragon Claw even without the Hobble Berry because I'm a little bit bulky. It's hopeful thinking. If I die, then I just have to adjust my strategy from next time. And it'll be good content. I'm, doing the cap for you. Dragon Claw into the Talonflame, so no Tailwind. But I'm able to get off an EQ. Boom. Okay, I'm faster than Archaludon. Okay. That actually is huge. Oh no, not huge. Now the Protect mind game begins. Now do you protect the Garchomp knowing that what did he do the last couple times? Has he used anything else other than Dragon Claw? If that's the case, then are you just a Scarf set? You might be just a Scarf set. Dragon Pulse. Was enough. I think I can take one more hit. So best thing for me to do would be actually kowtow. Protect. Not waste my Sucker Punch. If I had Swords Dance, I would have definitely clicked Swords Dance here. And then I kowtow again. Because I can take a Flash Cannon. I believe in you. Oh no, Dragon Force. Yes, I can. And then I can kowtow and then Sucker Punch. Okay. If I were you, I would protect again. Ooh, if he lives the sucker. Do you protect again? Just so you get more delivery. Oh shit. I shouldn't have done that. Should have just sucker punched. Maybe the mind games are not really what I am. I've been having very close games, but I'm still losing regardless. Okay, so let's start with the team preview. Sorry, that was just what I was playing. And so the enemy has Heat Rotom, Gyarados, Mega Meganium, most likely, Archaludon, Pelipper, and Garchomp. So let's first I have to think about what Mega I'm going to bring, because usually it's one or the other. Floette is bad. It can be decent against Gyarados, Archaludon, Pelipper, and Garchomp. While as Delphox is decent against, well, Rotom not really. I could Psychic it, I guess. Mega Meganium, Archaludon, it could be okay. Pelipper, and then maybe doesn't feel that great, right? There's not a lot of Heat Waves I can do. I can do some Psychic, but you would rather Heat Wave with Delphox than Psychic, right? It's not like anything is super effective with Psychic. So I think going with Floette seems to be the Mega of choice, because a lot of Heat Wave resistance, and I won't have any weather control, so they'll definitely have the rain in their stead. So I need to, because this one is not a setup Floette, I need to decide whether I want to go fast or whether I want to redirect. And I think going fast, in my experience, when the enemy has, well, the opponent has Tailwind, having another Tailwind in my stead is also helpful in this case. So that's why I decided to go Talonflame to match Tailwind. If it was like a Trick Room team that it could do Trick Room, I would go Sinistcha instead. And then I picked Kingambit and Garchomp to round out the other weaknesses. There are thoughts of adding Sinistcha instead, however, the Pelipper's Hurricane is a little bit too dangerous, and I would rather have Earthquake on Archaludon. That's why I picked the Garchomp, and then Kingambit just for dishing a non-resistant damage in the opponent. So I think my 4 has been okay. So I'm not too worried about what team I decided to bring. They ended up bringing Pelipper and Gyarados, and I have Floette and Talonflame. That's okay. It rains, so I do Tailwind here. Maybe I should have just Light of Ruin something. I don't know how the calc is. Pelipper is most likely Sash here. It's either that Sash or Garchomp is Sash, but Garchomp usually runs more like Hovenberry, or they might run things like shit, what do you call that? Like the no, mostly Hovenberry, the Choice Scarf, but then I doubt it's Choice Scarf version. Fairy Aura, so Tailwinds, and then I Dazzling Gleam. I do about 33% to Pelipper. There is an argument whether Moonblast would have killed it, which I do doubt. Gyarados has a pretty bulky special defense, huh? Gyarados. I think this is also a little bit more bulky Gyarados. It does have better special defense, but I don't think it matters that much, right? Moonblast, I think, is 95, and then Dazzling Gleam is 80. But then I guess it is 80 plus 0.75, so 0.5 is 60 compared to Moonblast's 95. 95 divided by 60 would be 1.5% more damage. So yeah, that would have killed. 67 times 1.58 would be more than 100. However, like I said, because this Pelipper is most likely Sash, it's not most likely not going to achieve much. It will just bring it down to Sash. So seeing the Thunder Wave on the Gyarados, it makes me wonder that this is a bulky, very bulky Gyarados that is meant to be more disruptive. So with the Floette going down, not going down, but with it going slower, I think it becomes a little bit more difficult. Do I Acrobatics the Pelipper? I do Acrobatics the Pelipper. What do I end up doing? And then I think damage calc wise, 41%, that would have killed, right? The Gyarados. Acrobatics on Pelipper, take a hit. Right, take a waterfall, and then Moonblast on Gyarados still does kill. So I think in here I agree with what I decided to go with. Archaludon. It's a little bit tricky here because it would die to a Garchomp Earthquake or a Rock Slide now that it is slower and it is matching the Tailwind. So maybe I think I decided to sack it here. Just do some damage without buffing up, getting this stamina boost. Dragon Claw onto the Talonflame doesn't kill. Electro Shot on the Floette. Now I have to attack. Should I have switched out here knowing that there might be an Electro Shot coming? I could switch to Garchomp. Dragon Claw over there. And then Electro Shot. Oh no, it's Flash Cannon. I could still have brought in King Gambit if that's the case. I wouldn't bring in the Garchomp, but well, what's the safe play here? I know that they're going to attack something. Either the Garchomp decides to Rock Slide, most likely not going to Earthquake, so it's either Rock Slide, and then I need to decide whether Archaludon feels safe enough to Flash Cannon after bringing himself up to +1. In which that is the case, that might be true. There's also a thing where he could like, no, he would have to Dragon Claw because Rock Slide wouldn't do that much damage against Floette for Archaludon to Electro Shot into that. But I would die to one Electro Shot if I get hit. But I'm guessing he feels more. He feels the need to kill that more. Now the problem is if I actually decided to switch out the Floette, after it comes in, it can't really do anything because it's still paralyzed. So going after an Archaludon is still not going to be that great. So I bring in the Garchomp, and I think I decide to just Earthquake here. And because I'm not Hobbenberry, I don't think I'm Hobbenberry on this one. Yep, Talonflame dies. Still Dragon Claw against the Talonflame. Makes me believe that it might be actually Scarf. Earthquake. It crucially does not kill, even when I didn't give any stamina boost on the Archaludon. But it is the Dragon Pulse. Okay, it's not Hobbenberry. The leftover does suck. I got it up to here correctly. And then I kowtow. Oh no, I had to kill the King Gambit. Now he protects for the leftover damage. That's fine. Kowtow does how much? Get another Dragon Pulse. And Kowtow does 25%, but then now he's +2. So he's going to do a little bit less damage with that. With the Sucker Punch 2 and also with the boost. 17%. I think it's very iffy to see if it's going to die to 17%. So if I did, oh no, I still. So Kowtow Cleave is 85 base power and Sucker Punch is 70 base power. So let me just pull out the calculator. Might be easier that way. So 25% with +1, 2 divided by 1.5 is 1.33333333, which means it's going to do this much less damage. Right. Wait, what is 1 divided by 1.5? 1.6. So let's say 85 divided by 0.67 is 128. 128 would be what it would be damaged. Now divided by 2. So 64 divided by 85 times 70, so 52. Actually, no, this doesn't make sense. So 25 as a regular, and then divided by 1.3, and then times 70 divided by 85. No, it still wouldn't have killed. Okay. Actually, at the end, it probably is a damage range. It probably is damage range whether Sucker Punch kills the Archaludon. So I think predicting that he will Veil to protect one more time. For the Sucker Punch, Mind Game, and also gaining Leftovers boost was still not a bad idea. That didn't work out. I am not sure whether I could win even with the Sucker Punch damage. Maybe he knew that, and maybe that's why he just attacked it. If he knew the calc enough. But it must mean that he's like very smart and Mr. Calculator. But who knows? It's Master Rank, so it can be anything. Alright. Alright. So next game, it is a Sand team. This is a Joe Sand team. So I'm not sure if he pull out the thing, but I know that only has Brave Bird. Running Delphox is not the end of the world. I might do that and then leave the acrobatics for the Komao. So I think Delphox, Talonflame. I could Cine. And then Garchomp or King Gambit. I think Garchomp is okay. Wait, what's the set on the Joe Sand team? It might be different because he never really released anything. So it might not be true, but it's supposed to have Climbing Scale, Anger Soul, Aura Sphere, and Protect. Okay. So you have the sand, unfortunately, which means that Excadrill is going to be very fast. I can levitate. I think I'm faster than Excadrill if I do this. But is that worth? No. I could Garchomp actually. I could switch into Garchomp. And then I could Tailwind. And then sack the Talonflame, right? Okay, so it's going to be a Mega T-Tar. So Garchomp needs to do some work. Talonflame, Tailwind. And then probably Rock Slide. Oh, the wrong thing to avoid because it's gonna die anyway. What are you gonna do? Ice Punch? Don't Ice Punch. Okay, knock off. No more soft sand. I can probably safely Earthquake here. And then I'm going to feint the Excadrill. Because that most likely has Sash. Now, do you know if I have feint or not? If you know that I have feint, you usually just switch out, right? Okay. What? Okay. Double protect. I thought feint goes first. Now, does it break the protect? Okay. What does that do? Doesn't go on that. And I think it still attacks the Excadrill. Alright, that's good. Alright, that's what I wanted. Okay, so the feint Mind Game is out. Talonflame. Who's it gonna be? Organite. You gonna Earthquake. Actually, I don't have to Earthquake. I just have to Stomping. You're not going to double protect. And I can take out the Sinistcha for the healing on the Garchomp. Okay, heal him up. Is it her? Heal her up. Yeah, I never really look at the what do you call that? The gender of my Pokemon. Brave Bird onto the Garchomp does a lot of damage. Oh, of course, it's a crit. Of course, because okay, that's good. I'll take that. Now what I do? If I were you, I protect the T-Tar and then try to Brave Bird. Brave Bird and then kill the Garchomp. I think this is pretty safe, unless he decides to Rock Slide. But why would he do that? He might Tailwind, which is pretty bad. But if I have Tailwind up... Okay, he just withdraws the Tyranitar. Okay, he comes around to Komao. And I think my Tailwind runs out. Here. Brave Bird into the Sinistra. Alright. Now can I hit Acrobatics? I'm faster. So I'm going to... He's going to Aura Sphere somewhere. A... T-Tar... Stomping on the Komao and then try to heal the Garchomp a little bit. I'm not sure how much they're trying to do. I'm still the fastest. Oh, that's very weak. Training Scales does kill the Garchomp. Citrus Berry. I don't think I'm that okay. Oof. You might Brave Bird. You do Brave Bird. But I can take the Dragon attack, can I? And then I'll just Side Shock the Komao. You just have to take a Clanging Scales. And then Rage Powder on Sinistra. Just in case they double up on the slot. I still might be faster than the Corviknight though. But I don't want to take 2 Clanging Scales. Just don't protect. Okay, they don't protect. Probably Clanging Scales. Just has to not die. Come on. What's the point of me doing the Rage Powder if you're just gonna crit me twice? Flying here faster. Does that kill? No, it doesn't kill. That feels so bad. Oh, Delphox should be much healthier than this. Delphox should be much healthier than this. Okay, so my out is that I don't die to the sand. Right? And then I don't get hit by then I don't get hit by the landslide. Or else I lose. I don't know what went wrong. Brave Bird. Okay, so they just take the correct way out. Alright, that's fine. How many protects do I need? Nope, I can't because I'll die to the sand. Oh my god. I don't know how to use this team. I thought I was doing everything correctly, but it doesn't feel right. Okay. Alright. So, let's look at this. I don't know how to win with this team. Like, I've had some practice in my past, but it's just whatever I do, it just doesn't feel quite correct. I don't know. So, I mean, I've already started the recording, so I did halfway through, so I'm not just gonna give it up, but there's probably going to be something along the lines of don't use it if you're a noob. Only use it if you're around 2000. Okay, so the enemy has Excadrill, Tyranitar, Corviknight, Komao, Incineroar, and Sinistra. So, Fluid is good. Fluid. Why can I not type in here? Fluid is good against Kitar, Komao. That's about it. Right? Like, what's really good? Delphox, strong against Excadrill, Corviknight, and Sinistra. Oh, and Komao too, because of the psychic. So it seems like the obvious answer is to go with Delphox. So with that, Delphox is bad against Tyranitar and Incin. And for Tyranitar, I brought Garchomp. But should I have brought... I only brought Talonflame next to Delphox because I wanted to get Tailwind off early in case the Corviknight does Tailwind, and also Excadrill under the sand is faster than Delphox because it's stronger, and then if I get like a rock slide up against the Delphox, it would have been really bad. And I don't have any fake out in this team, so that's why I decided to go with the Brave Bird, right? So decided to do that. Talonflame to outspeed because I need to hit before Excadrill. Excadrill, Garchomp for T-Tar, and Incin too. It helps with that, right? But why did I bring Sinistra? Sinistra to heal the Delphox? Because I thought I had pretty good coverage against the team, because realistically I have Iron Head, but with the Sucker Punch, the only thing that I can really hit properly is T-Tar and Sinistra. And I thought I didn't have to do that with Garchomp in the back. So I brought Sinistra to support Delphox because I didn't have to have more offensive coverage. I think the problem with this team is that Delphox doesn't do a lot of damage. So maybe like Delphox is good for cleanup, but not good to Oko. Maybe I should have brought Talonflame, Garchomp, and just tailwind EQ rather than trying to lead Delphox. But I guess that's in retrospect what that is. Because what if it's like Komo-o Garchomp? Then maybe I would just acrobatics, but I'm not sure if the acrobatics would one hit KO the Komo-o. Might. Right, if it has a sand, I tailwind. If it doesn't have the sand, then I can protect. Unless they switch in the sand, but I'm just gonna protect EQ anyway. Right? So maybe that's what I should have done. Okay, let's go turn by turn. Let's see, Excadrill and T-Tar. So Delphox doesn't really do much of anything. He would Rock Slide rather than Earthquake because he knows that I have Levitate. So I switch out to the Garchomp, Mega T-Tar, Tailwind, and then Rock Slide, avoid the attack, that's fine. And then what does, yeah, Tyranitar knocks off, does a lot of damage. And I don't have Soft Send anymore. So now I wanted to take out the Sash from the Excadrill, so EQ Feint, and I think it is very good what I did. I thought he would double Rock Slide, actually, to be honest. But then I guess Mega Delphox with being the Psychic type, that it is very good against T-Tar too. Don't lead Delphox in front of T-Tar. He is most likely to lead with weather because I don't have weather control. Right. With the Excadrill, that's fine. Earthquake, and I take out the Excadrill. That's the best I could have done in this scenario. So now I want to EQ again. Oh yeah, I stomping, but it doesn't kill the T-Tar. So I heal. Some T-Tar have Ice Punch, but not this one. Very bulky. So Brave Bird, crit into Garchomp. It's just bad luck here and there. Rock Slide misses. I guess it kind of evens out, but not really. It's just, maybe it evens out in terms of damage. Buffeted by the sand. I thought Braver was going in there, so I wanted to take that. But ends up knockoff going on there. So I could have stomping again with Rage Powder here. Decided to bring out the Talonflame. Well, I guess he brought out the T-Tar, but I could do some meaningful damage against the Komo-o. Brave Bird into the Talonflame. That's fine. I think the problem is that I didn't switch. No, yes I did. Oh no, I think the problem is I didn't switch out the Garchomp. Mistake is to not switch in Garchomp when T-Tar backed out, because Garchomp is the only thing that can kill T-Tar realistically. So I needed to switch it out and save it as much as I could. So I would actually switch Cine into the Garchomp slot. And then switch Talonflame into no. At least Garchomp slot, right? Clanging Scales does kill the Garchomp, which is to be expected. So if the Cine was in the back and then Talonflame, I could... Right, Stomping on the Komo does so little damage that probably better to Acrobatics. And then switch into Sinistcha. But now that the enemy has the Tailwind, maybe double switch is not a bad idea. But at least, even if it's something like a Protect, right? Protect and then switch into Sinistcha into the Garchomp slot. So Mega Delphox comes out. I will Heat Wave here. Rage Powder takes out the Clanging, so it can take a Clanging pretty well. Right? Clanging Scales, that's fine. And then Brave Bird going into Delphox is actually pretty bad because it got critted the Sinistcha. Right? And if I had Talonflame up, I would... I don't know why I decided to Psy. No, it's okay. Because I have nothing that can kill the Komo either. But then now I have nothing that can kill Corviknight. And then my Talonflame. And then because Delphox couldn't take another Brave Bird, I think as soon as we started getting asynchronous Tailwind, actually was pretty bad. Right, and then that will just kill it. Yeah. As soon as he got off asynchronous Tailwind off, because I couldn't stall the Tailwind enough and kill with Garchomp. I had no way of sustaining against Titar and would have lost regardless. I don't know how I would go about it, but at least the beginning would be to start by preserving the Garchomp as much as possible. I think that would be the start. Okay, I'm gonna play one more game. Feels terrible just keep losing though. Okay, so game number 4. I will be playing against another Titar. This is a Trick Room, Primarina, Gambit. So Talonflame is maybe not a great idea here. Floette seems okay. Farigiraf. So I can't get him to Trick Room. Is that possible? Or I might just try to go slow and bring out the King Gambit, at least in the back, right? Do I want Delphox or do I want Floette? I think I want Floette more. In the beginning, I want to pressure, and then I want to have Cine in the back, and then I want to have King Gambit in the back, so it'll be like Chomp, Floette, King Gambit, Cine, I think. Like try to go aggressive at least turn 1. and then we can decide what we want to do from there. Or I could like try to get like a flinch for the rock slide. Definitely what I want to do is Light of Ruin turn 1. There is a reason to bring the Talonflame for the feint in case I want to really get off, but then if I have Bergerac, I won't be able to get that off due to the armor tear, right? So it's Hattering and Bergerac. Let's kill it as much as I can. So I'm going to, do I want a rock slide or do I want a stomping? Probably want a stomping the Hattering and then Lighter Ruin the Bergerac. Probably can't kill it, but at least get good damage off. Whoever that decides to Trick Room gonna be okay, and then I'm gonna just have to stall it as much as I can. Fairy Aura, Line of Ruin. I am faster than Garchomp? I am faster than Garchomp. Oh. Okay, 17%. Oof, that's a lot of damage. Stomping Tantrum onto the Hattering. Because I don't know which one is going to Trick Room. Might be Hattering in this case too. Oh no, it does Dazzling Gleam. Ooh, takes out the Garchomp. And then Trick Room. Okay. Now what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? King Gambit is okay. I might bring in the Sinistra actually. And then Protect. Get some healing done. Might actually should have backed up the Garchomp. Okay, we threw the Bergerac. Start the King Gambit. Because Dazzling Gleam is gonna happen again. I'm not sure if Dazzling Gleam is going to kill my Floette. Definitely a possibility. Floette protects. Oh, I should know it's not going to kill it. Never mind. Dazzling Gleam onto the Sinistra. Now, he probably Sucker Punches. Tries to kill the Sinistra. Or at least, like... at least try to Kowtow Cleave it. Because he thinks that I'm going to Trick Room. So Kowtow Cleave and probably the Mother Dazzling Gleam. Oof, that is a lot of damage. Iron Head, okay. Now I can take a Dazzling. I could Rage Powder the Sucker Punch. And then I'm going to Iron Head the Hattering. Rage Powder, so either Kowtow or Sucker is going to be... okay, Dazzling Gleam, hopefully doesn't kill it. Citrus Berry. Ooh, low kick, okay, into the Sinistra, that's good. Iron Head into the Hattering. So at least that's something. Okay, so we know that there could be another low kick. T-Bar. Could Iron Headed. Now, are you slow? I have one turn of Trick Room left. Do I want to sack the Garchomp? Yeah, I think so. And then I will protect this turn. Okay, I protect. Now what do you do? Kowtow. That's... I have rough skin. Now what do you do? What do you do? Rock Slide, and then I can go Floette. Now I'm the fastest Floette in the world, but you might try to Sucker Punch me, so I'm going to heal with the Sinistcha. Oh, actually, I didn't have to do that. I will switch in first. So I could have Dazzling, because I could take a Sucker Punch. That's actually a mistake. That is really a mistake. Break. But I want to go on the offensive. Hospitality. Protected. Probably an Iron Head. Going in there. Rock Slide. What do I have in the back? I have King Gambit in the back. Tao. Okay, shoot. Alright. King Gambit. I think I have to Dazzle in here. And then do I just have to believe? No. I have to Moon Blast the King Gambit. And probably sucker the King Gambit. But is Farigiraf gonna come in? I'm in a really bad position, am I not? Yeah, that looks like a chair. Okay. Sucker Punch. Wow, no damage. Boom Blast. How much damage is gonna do? Okay. Ooh, I still made the best out of all the possible worst solutions that we have. Red Giraffe. I'm still faster. So I have to Light of Ruin the T-Tar. Hope that this is not a Sash. If it is Sash, I might be Sash now that I hit it. Okay, Light of Ruin should either Sash or kill the T-Tar. Oh, no Sash. Okay, now I don't know what item it has. I really don't. Oh, that is a wrong Protect. Oh, bye-bye Floette. And then I am hopefully fast. Do I miss? Oh, Cobra Berry, okay. Hey, yeah, no. You're not gonna live. 17%. Oh my god. Win number 1. I wanted to maintain my 1700, so I had played like a couple games before with another team just to bring it up. And then I'm doing this. Okay, actually first win of the series. At least I get one win. I'm glad I don't have to go down with 4 losses. So let's begin with the team preview, and as always, Floette, oops, over Delphox, because Delphox is good against Crabominable and King Gambit, but also not really King Gambit, right? Because you Sucker Punch and I'll probably die. Yeah, it's like Crabominable. Floette has much better coverage. Garchomp for damage could have been King Gambit. Could have been King Gambit. Lead against Farigiraf. But then it also had Colberberry against the dark type, so I'm not sure. In the end, I probably Garchomp is the better lead in this case. And the Sinistra, in case I need to reverse the Trick Room, and King Gambit for slow Mon. At least it can outspeed things like Tyranitar in the Trick Room if I am lucky, I think. If he didn't tech in for it, right? It's probably what I was trying to do. So that's fine. Go in. The battle star ends up being Hatterene and Frigiraf. I could double into Frigiraf, but then I was worried that Hatterene actually also, like, sometimes in this case they kind of bait it out and they have Hatterene be the one to click the Trick Room, and then Frigiraf kind of just like protects. That's also something, or switches out. And if that's the case, then I'm in a pretty bad state. Maybe not, because I will get damage off on whatever it is switching into, whichever it is going to be Tyranitar or King Gambit. Could have doubled up, but if they protected and then got off the Trick Room with the Hatterene, I would have been in really, really bad position. At least by, spreading up the damage, I can pressure the Hatterene and the Frigiraf whenever that it is going to do something. So I go into Mega Floette, Fairy Aura, Lighter Ruin, into the Frigiraf. I was like, maybe it wanted KOs, but actually did not end up doing that. That takes so much damage. It's so sad. Stomping Tantrum to the Hatterene. I could have Calm Minded if I had the Calm Mind. Actually, Dazzling Gleam does so much damage onto Garchomp, but I think it is meant to live a Dazzling on things like, I think also Mega Floette too. If it is not teched in all the way to special attack, something like that. Sinistra switch out so it can heal, protect to stall out. That's okay. King Gambit comes out. For the heal, like I said, I could have. Oh no, I think I was like, maybe I should have just Dazzling Gleam now. But if I did that and then he Dazzling Gleamed and then Frigiraf Psychic into Floette, it would have died most likely. So it is good to protect here. Now, if I had the right mind, I would like Rage Powder and then Moonblast the King Gambit. I was like, I'm gonna sack, bring up the King Gambit, and then I protect Iron Head and Dazzling Gleam, right? I think I should have. Honestly, I could have Dazzling here, right? And then just Rage Powder. And I'll take whatever the attack. And then I'll take a Dazzling. I can live with Dazzling, I think. Could actually Rage Powder. Dazzling Gleam. To pressure, because I would live one Dazzling, but can lose Cine in that case. And that might be bad. Sinistra protects. Now Iron Head goes into King Gambit, which is still fine, and then I think a Rage Powder here. And then I Ironhead the Hatterene. Dazzling Gleam. My thought was I still live a Dazzling, right? Dazzling, and then I might not lose any actually because I have the Citrus Berry still. Ironhead kills the Katarine. I think it helps because I got off the damage off because it might not actually Oko here. So now there is that, and then I have to bring in something. So it's going to be a Tyranitar. Then I protect the King Gambit so I can Ironhead it later, Sinisha. So I just decided to sacrifice the Garchomp. Tao Cleave into that. Rough Skin damage. Mango. And then Rock Slide. Which actually it could have attacked here, but I think it is better to stay a little bit safe. I bring in the Floette. Because I think because they only have one turn of Trick Room left. So I protect here, bringing the Sinistra for the healing. Rock Slide into Sinistra. And then Kowtow onto the Sinistra. So they were going to double up on the King Gambit slot. Which is a little bit strange, but that is what they did. Maybe he knew that I was going to protect. That's also a reasonable thing to say. So now I can kill. So I think this is where it was really lucky for me because I was thinking. Well, my line of thought was all of knockoff and Rock Slide and Low Kick cannot kill Floette. The Floette is very light and they resist everything. Well, Floette doesn't resist the Rock Slide, but Rock Slide is not a very damaging move. So I can decide to kill the King Gambit by going Moonblast. Oh, I go Dazzling. Oh, okay. No. I think I need to Moonblast and then either Ironhead or Kowtow the King, or oh no, Sucker Punch in case the enemy King Gambit faster. Right, just to get damage off in the beginning, but I'm not sure how much reasonable that damage is, but I do take it out. I don't think that was a crit either, so that's good. It's good that I Moonblasted. Mango. So now bringing out the Fredgiraffe, and because of how the speed is working, Floette just kills the T-Tar. And then King Gambit kills the Kowtow even if they protect the Tyranitar. The Fredgiraffe is already dead, and then I could always just Light of Ruin, and because if I am the one to damage and I also would have King Gambit up, I would still win. Okay. Good to add pressure by splitting damage in the beginning that I did not have to fish for Oko when Trick Room ran out, right? So I just stalled as much as I can, and also good choice to bring King Gambit as well. So yeah, so that's game 4. Do I have time for game 5? Is she gonna? Oh no, my baby's gonna wake up soon. So game 5 a little bit later. Alright, let's get started with game number 5. It is going to be a Sun, Sneasler, Garchomp, Rotom, and King Gambit. Pretty standard. How well is Delphox going to be? Probably not so much, right? I would rather have Floette, Talonflame. And then probably Dire Claw protection for Floette. And then close combat protection. No, I think I want to have this against the Zard, right? Is there anything to have Zard first? Actually, no, I mean Chomp first, right? Something like this. Right, that way I can hit both the Venusaur and my Garchomp with the Zard. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. It is going to be Sneasler and Venusaur. Do you hit... Who do you hit first? If you are going to... I might just... Yeah, I think you protect the Talonflame. And then I'm going to EQ. You fake out the Talonflame, don't you? Because you want to stop the Tailwind from happening? Yeah. There you go. Earthquake. It does good damage to everyone. Alright, yep, kills the Sneasler. The Venusaur goes to 40%. A lot of Venusaurs don't carry Protect. Oh wow, you actually try to Sleep Powder the Talonflame, huh? Oh, so you really don't want. Okay, it's going to be the Zard. You might... Heat Wave? Protect Heat Wave, that's a thing. But then if I already get a Rock Slide off, I do a lot of damage to Charizard, right? I probably don't kill it. Because, like people say, the Zards are usually going more defensive and bulkier and slower. But at least I can do very good damage onto the Zard with the Rock Slide. Ghost Drought, I have +1. Zard protects. And then Acrobatics goes into the Venusaur. Gets a knockout. Now Venusaur faints. Rock Slide into the Protect, which is fine. Okay, that's a win. Quick game 5. Alright. Okay, so let's start with the team preview. As I always do, I say which of the Mega is stronger against the enemy team, whether it's going to be the Floette or the Delphox. And it is going to be... Floette is strong probably against... Floette is like decent against the bottom 4, right? Because I can hit... I'm good against like Floette. Yeah, good against Chomp. Sneasler, maybe, not really. Maybe Rotom on par with Venu. Not really. And Sneasler. However, a Delphox only good against King Gambit and Sneasler. Now maybe I think I could have brought Delphox and still be fine, right? Because I actually did not end up using my Floette. So with that, so I guess what else I can cover, right? Chomp covers for Zard, King Gambit, and that's about it. I run soft sand, so I can't even really hit the Zard. I'm not even that good against Zard. Uh, so with that, yeah, Rotom I'm pretty bad against. The Talonflame is good against Venusaur, Sneasler. So if I'm bringing Chomp and Talonflame, I already have the Sneasler and I already have the King Gambit pretty much covered as much as I could. So that's why makes it more likely that Floette is better option because I already have King Gambit and Sneasler cover the best I can with the acrobatics and with everything, and also I pretty much resist the close combat with my Talonflame too, so that's pretty good. And I brought King Gambit if I wanted to do any damage, probably onto the Rotom, because actually, I mean, I could have brought Sinistra, but Sinistra is so weak against 4 of the 6 Pokemon. Um, King Gambit doesn't offer a lot of offensive coverage, but it can take a poison attacks for Floette. So that's probably why I brought the King Gambit. So I think with that, I think it's pretty good. And the biggest lead that I was scared of the most is going to be um, Zarvino. So because I'm scared about that most, and Floette can't really do anything if that's the case, so I brought that. If I am fighting against anything else like a Sneasler or anything, I do have, if I do Talonflame, Garchomp, I probably have a lot of things covered. Like I have King Gambit covered, I have Venusaur covered, Sneasler covered, Charizard covered, maybe not so much Rotom and Garchomp, but maybe if that's the case, I just switch into King Gambit into the Charizard, into my Garchomp slot to resist the Fairy, or I could also just Tailwind and then switch the Garchomp into the Floette, and I can completely negate the Dragon attack coming in that direction, and I will be faster than Garchomp after the Tailwind. So that was my reasoning for the picks. Sneasler and the Venusaur, it's a little bit tricky, but something that I'm mostly worried about is the sleep powder. Um, and I had to make a call whether they are trying to fake out my Garchomp or fake out my Talonflame with the Sneasler, or if it is going to be anything, some sort of like close combat or any shenanigans like that. However, I thought that he would try to fake out my Talonflame as much as possible because of the Tailwind. Um, that's why I decided to protect it while the fake out is active on Sneasler. In any case, the fake out wasn't active on the Sneasler. The worst that Garchomp is going to take without, so either the worst case scenario is Charizard swaps in and then the Venusaur sleep powders my Garchomp and Talonflame doesn't do anything. That's also a little bit scary. That's like one scenario where everything goes wrong, but in anything else, Sneasler Even if it close combat into my Garchomp, um, it does about 70%, and then I can Earthquake, do a lot of damage to Venusaur, and then kill the Sneasler, and Talonflame gets protected. And whatever the Venusaur throws on the Garchomp is not going to be very strong. It may kill the Garchomp, but after Sneasler is gone, I'm not too much worried about what is going to happen. Although I am maybe a little bit worried about the King Gambit. Um, or maybe the enemy Garchomp at that point. But I do have Floette. So it actually works out really well for me because I protect here and then I Earthquake. And then he ends up Fake Out into my Talonflame and Earthquake. Well, and then he Sleep Powders my Talonflame, which we can see that he really wanted to stop the Tailwind. Oh, and also I thought even if the Garchomp dies, I can always Tailwind next turn without any risk of the Fake Out, and I get the priority that way. And then I can start dishing out a lot of damage. Most likely what will happen is I will probably Light of Ruin into the Charizard to try to do as much damage even if it is resisted, and then Acrobatics on the Venusaur as well at the later time. Which I could actually just Light of Ruin into Charizard and then Acrobatics into the Venusaur too, without Tailwind being active. So he Wise, he protects, and I Acrobatics, probably a Venusaur without a protect at this point, and then Rock Slide, and then he forfeits. So I mean that's probably pretty much game. Very good turn one led to enemy early forfeit. I keep stop having to say enemy. Led to opponent early forfeit. Okay, so all in all, in conclusion, after the gameplay, this is a very difficult team. Delphox really does lack damage, and Floette, although it can be very strong, it's not someone that is going to all out kill everything because it's not having the Calm Mind boost, and it doesn't really revolve. The support doesn't really revolve around the Floette. It actually revolves more around supporting everything else, right? With the Tailwinds, with the Trick Rooms. So there's no setup, it's just finding where I can do damage at the right time while protecting it best. It's actually much better once I do cycle, once I, once I'm able to get things like in order, make sure to protect at the right slot, cycle into the right slot. The defensive switches I think are very important in this team, which I will probably cover in the introduction as well. So I am sorry that I cannot showcase more games where I actually win, but I think by going over the games in after I lose are also helpful in knowing why someone loses and what we can do to improve. So as always, thank you so much for watching the video. I'm gonna try to figure out what team I'm going to play next, and I'm going to try to showcase that. And well, I'm gonna say the outro again because I kind of just lost it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.